Hi guys, I am Alex Cook, and one of my favorite things to do, one of my spare time hobbies, is to work out. And one of the most famous, popular exercises to do is the bench press. Although it's famous and popular, most people do it wrong and they don't realize how important form actually is to the exercise. Now, around 15,000 people get hurt every year due to form related injuries on the bench press. Sadly, I was one of them. Last year, I started working out, started lifting, and during a lift on the bench press, I ended up tearing my front deltoid because I was not using proper form on the bench press. Now, just like most exercises, there is correct form and it is important. Now, one of the variations is a chest, which is what the bench press targets, is a very strong part of the body. It's a very strong muscle. Therefore, to exercise it, it requires a lot of weight, and that weight will be on top of your body. So it's a very dangerous exercise. So it's more important than most exercises to use proper form. Now, the three biggest critiques that most people do wrong and some of the most important aspects of form on the bench press are there's three things. One is contracting your shoulder blades. Two is actually something you wouldn't think of, breathing techniques during the movement. And three, another thing you probably wouldn't think of is your foot placement during the movement. Now, the first thing we're going to talk about is the contraction of the shoulder blades. Now, as you may know, contracting your shoulder blades is just kind of trying to pinch your back together as so. And what this does is, first off, it raises you up off your back and it puts you on a smaller surface area. And what that does is it puffs your chest out and it ends up taking all of the pressure off of your front deltoids. And this would have saved my shoulder. This is what I was doing wrong. I just had a flat back on the bench, and it ended up I hurt my shoulder because I didn't use that proper form. Now, other than that, it actually improves the muscle contraction. It isolates the chest. This now bench press is a chest movement. You bench press to build your chest, and it isolates your chest more, making it more effective on your chest, and it increases stabilization. Instead of a flat slab that's kind of moving around, you have basically your two shoulder blades that are touching the mat, and it'll stabilize you a lot more. Okay, the second form technique, a little bit less form, but still a common problem, is breathing techniques. Most people just kind of breathe whenever they want, when in reality, breathing is extremely important when it comes to working out in any movement, including the bench press. Now, the proper breathing technique is to breathe in on the way down or at the bottom of the rep, and then as you're lifting, you're not really breathing out, you're holding the air in, but you're kind of like trying to force the air out. And what this does is it gives you more strength. You're able to power through the exercise way better. And then you end up letting the air out at the top. And then repeat the process for every rep that you do. And this gives you more power. You're able to move more weight, lift better, and you have better control of the weight as you're doing it. Because you're not just kind of sucking in whenever you feel like it. It's not a normal breathing, but it will help your workout significantly. The third is foot placement. Now, most people just kind of, especially when they're first starting off, you'll see people, they'll just have their feet out to the front and they're trying to move a lot of weight and their feet will just be wiggling around in front of them. And people don't realize that your feet they play a major role in the bench press. You need to keep your feet under you at all times. There should be pressure on your feet at all times, and actually, you want your feet flat under you, flat on the ground underneath the bench. And as you're trying to push the weight up, you also push through your feet, and it'll put you at a better angle it'll allow you to push more weight, and it'll give you more support by pushing through your legs. So proper form ultimately increases performance and safety. If you are not using proper form during a bench press, you are not isolating your muscle, you're not using your chest muscle as much as you could, and you're at a very great risk of injury. It is an easy skill to injure yourself on, and it's just not worth it. And the three things that you really need to do: contract your shoulder blades, learn the breathing techniques and incorporate it into every lift, and keep your foot placement correct to get the major support that you need. And the main thing is just think about when you're working, do you really want to risk injuring yourself next time you're in the gym? I don't think so.